Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Ollie Davis. Goldberg took the phrase cutting a promo a bit too literally on this week's Raw, where his pre-match ritual of headbutting a locker to psych himself up busted open his forehead. Quite wisely for the 50-year-old, he's going to stop doing that from now on. I'm putting the pre-match headbutt on the shelf for now. Kinda made me a bit loopy out there. Hashtag learn from my mistakes. Hashtag who's next. Hashtag everyone is next. Hashtag Royal Rumble. I guess he could always replace it with punching a car window. Unfortunately for WWE, blood doesn't necessarily equal ratings. The big go-home episode of Raw before the Royal Rumble only received 3.29 million viewers. Just 20,000 viewers up from the previous week. In more Botchamania fun, seemingly in reference to last week's episode of SmackDown, where JBL tripped over one of the show's 19 commentators when rushing to help Jerry Lawler, the 205 Live crew came up with a fitting new name for a local competitor, as pointed out by What a Maneuver on Twitter. Trip Bradshaw. When Kurt Angle pulled out of commentating on this Saturday's dominant wrestling show, which is to be broadcast live on Spike TV in the UK at 8 PM, it led many to speculate, me included, that it could be for a Royal Rumble surprise entrance the next day. Angle has now categorically denied that's the case to TMZ Sports. The Royal Rumble is not going to happen. I haven't talked to WWE about anything after the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm sure they're going to want to do something eventually. I'm not sure if it's wrestling related or not. We're only focusing on the Hall of Fame. In addition to this, WCPW have confirmed Kurt will still be taking on Alberto Del Rio on the 12th of February. A match that arguably wouldn't be happening if he really was making his in-ring return for WWE. Of course, Kurt could just be saying this to trick us and it's all a wrestling angle. But I think for us all to get maximum enjoyment out of the Rumble, let's assume he won't be showing up. That way, if he doesn't, we're not too disappointed. And if he does, it's an awesome kind of surprise. Earlier this month, TNA underwent a week-long set of TV tapings, the first under their new owners, Anthem Giant Bird and Entertainment. Like with any new change in ownership, a few teething issues can be expected, but not maybe the worst week they've ever had working at Universal Studios. Wrestling News World are reporting that Universal Studios employees were very upset with the week's worth of Impact Wrestling tapings, with one calling them a disaster. Apparently, because of the new ownership, some of the people usually responsible for ushering tourists into the studio were no longer involved, which led to trouble filling up the crowd. At one point, a tour of hundreds of Brazilian tourists came in to help fill the venue. TNA were so excited they had the building half full, they rearranged the match order of the taping to have one of the episode's main events in front of this new large crowd. The thing is, halfway through the match, all the Brazilians got up in unison and left. What do you make of Kurt Angle denying he'll be in the Royal Rumble match? Just start chanting "you suck" in the comments below. Dominance Wrestling might not have Kurt Angle on commentary anymore, but it does have Rey Mysterio, Johnny Mundo, Drew Galloway, and more. It's being broadcast live on Spike TV in the UK this Saturday at 8 PM, which is channel 31 on Freeview, 160 on Sky, and 154 on Virgin. If you want to find out about my Kurt Angle conspiracy when it was first announced, or watch my review of this week's episode of Raw, click the videos to the left and subscribe. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.